Morning peeps, good morning everyone, how's everyone doing? Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, like, share, subscribe. I smiled there because it's good to be back. It's been a while. I haven't filmed for about a month and I know that's too long, so apologies, but a lot's happened in that month, and I'll let you guys know all those things in the next few videos. I don't want to clog up this video telling you about my life, but a lot's happened in that month. All good things, by the way. We're this close to getting a couple of big projects over the line, so once I get them over the line, you guys will be the first to know, as you guys always are. One of the things obviously we've changed is this is the new setup. It's still in my flat, but I wanted to go into a room. I felt like me filming in my front room just wasn't it. I'm better than that, I'm bigger than that, so we've decided to use a proper camera for the first time. You guys know I normally use my iPhone to film, but we've decided to use a proper camera. Be honest, what do you guys think? You guys are very honest with your opinions and takes. Don't hurt me, don't be that brutal, but be honest. No more green chair. That's strange. That's strange for me as well, because this YouTube channel was always about the green chair. But we have paid homage to the green chair with the logo. And the biggest thing, and I'll let you guys know this, I wanted to kind of tell you guys a bit later, but I've decided to start a production company called Green Chair Productions. That is one of the projects that is this close to getting off the ground. What does that mean? Basically, that means big shit is coming your way, people. I ain't fucking about. Big shit is coming your way. So there's going to be so much content filmed in the next few months that you might see all over the world, and it'll be under the Green Chair Productions umbrella. So yeah, your boy's been trying in the last month, and I needed to take a month off just to focus and really just sort of knuckle down. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, hopefully you guys will be happy with what's coming your way in the next month. All right, enough of that. As I said, I'll let you guys know everything in the next few videos. Let's get stuck into some boxing. Now, I ain't gonna lie, I've kind of been off the radar a little bit when it comes to boxing. So we'll get up to scratch quickly, but I haven't really been following it as much in the last few weeks. I was in Germany as well. Did you guys know that, for the Euros? So I've been like football heavy in the last few weeks, but you know how it is. We'll get there. All right, let's start with this one. No waiting. David Benavidez to face the Artur Beterbiev Dimitri Bivol winner. Yeah, makes sense. Look, Beterbiev, after that fight against Vosdik, did say, I think he did say though, that he wants to go back down to 168. Ultimately, what are you going down there for? The number one in that division, like the cash cow, doesn't want to fight you for whatever reason. I don't know what the reasons are. I don't know if it's fear or Canelo just wanting the biggest paycheck he can get. But Canelo isn't fighting David Benavidez. We are hearing that Canelo's going to fight Edgar Berlanga. We'll make a separate video about that, and I'll give you my honest opinions on that fight. And if he gets past Berlanga, I do think it's all systems go for this super fight against Crawford, providing Crawford gets past Madrimov. I fly out to LA on Sunday for that one. So look, if you're Benavidez, the 168 division just ain't for you. Although I will say this, there are some good guys down there at 168. Munguia is down there. Munguia signed a deal with Top Rank. I think he's chasing their Mbili fight. There is Edgar Berlanga potentially as well. So there are some good fights out there for him. David Morrell, do you know what I mean? Some good names. But ultimately, none of them, minus Canelo, are bigger than the winner of Bivol Beterbiev. None of them. None of them. And plus, that means you're getting that Saudi money, because Artur Beterbiev Bivol winner will fight on a Riyadh season card. So yeah, I like it. I like it. Chase those guys and try and become undisputed. Shakur Stevenson, Tank Davis can't get any riper. Is he basically saying this is the best Tank we're going to see? Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Tank gives you chances, you know. Like, I've watched a lot of Tank fights in full recently. You get a chance with Tank. Tank's so assured that he's going to get you. He's almost okay giving away rounds, making you feel comfortable, and then bang, you're knocked out. And you're waking up a few hours later and you haven't no idea what happened. So, I don't know, man. I do think if Tank were to fight Shakur, I don't know if Tank would give that many rounds away. I actually think it's a good boxing match. Because I do think Tank's a lot better boxer than he's been letting off recently. But look, it's a super fight. We'll see if it happens. I have little hope in this fight happening in the next year or so. I'm being serious. I guess it all I think hinges on who Shakur signs with. Like, if Shakur does sign with PBC and Al Heyman, then yeah, maybe that is the plan. And maybe you sit down with Al and the team and, you know, they tell you, okay, this is the plan. The plan ends with you fighting Tank in 2 fights. If you go the Eddie route and DAZN, it looks like he's going to go that route, then can they, without the help of Turkey, make that fight happen? I'm not sure. We'll see. Tim Tszyu, Erickson Lubin purse bids cancelled. You hope it's been cancelled because they've come to an agreement. That's kind of what happens when purse bids get cancelled. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, look, here it is. Munguia signs with Top Rank, reunites with Eric Morales, set for Eric Bazinian on September 20th. Does that mean he's no longer with Freddie Roach? I thought he looked good, by the way, against Canelo. Even when Canelo dropped him, I was so happy that he continued to fight on the front foot. Like, he showed a lot of heart in that fight. Good fighter, Munguia. Manny Pacquiao targets very winnable Mario Barrios fight ahead of his 46th birthday. Enough. I'm tired of it. I'm so tired of this crap, honestly. I mean, 46-year-old Manny Pacquiao. Like, what are we doing? Like, what's going on in the sport of boxing? I don't know, man. Hopefully he doesn't do it. Next. Talking of fights I really didn't want to see. I mean, this weekend, Dereck Chisora versus Joyce is happening. And I make that face because you guys know as well as I do, it's carnage. I mean, that fight is so brutal and brain cells just, you know. Look, this fight's bigger for Joe than it is for Chisora, and you'll understand why. You look at Joe's sort of recent big wins. Obviously, Joseph Parker's the most recent big win, right? And look at where Joseph Parker is now. What I'm trying to get at is that it's easier to sell Joe if he comes through this against some of the top guys. It's easier because there's no shame in losing to Zhang, especially what Zhang just did to Wilder. So it's easier to sell Joe because we remember recently that fight against Joseph Parker. Like, it's in our memory bank. And you look at where Joseph Parker is now, right? And obviously look at Daniel Dubois. I mean, this is a Joe Joyce that stopped Daniel Dubois. Joe Joyce is now considered a top 6 heavyweight who's going to fight in front of 95,000, whatever it is, in Wembley against AJ. So if Joe Joyce comes through this one looking good, it's an easier sell for him to get in the ring with other good heavyweights. Agit Kabayel springs to mind, a Joseph Parker rematch springs to mind, even a Daniel Dubois rematch can spring to mind. For Dereck Chisora, look, I don't want to see Dereck Chisora fight. And I've said this to him. I just don't like the idea of seeing him fight. He's entertained me for so many years. You no longer need to do so, sir. I'm cool. We're cool. I don't want to see it. I just want to see him get out of that ring healthy. And I can't remember ever saying that about a fighter. But that's my concern for Chisora. I didn't like this fight for Chisora 5 or 6 years. Remember when, I don't know who Chisora fought, but David Haye was managing Joe Joyce at the time and they kind of put it on him ringside. I didn't like it then. And now, don't get me wrong, look, Joe Joyce is not that same guy anymore, but nor is Chisora. I mean, nor is Chisora. So I didn't like it then. I certainly don't like it now. I just hope that Chisora gets out of the ring healthy and is okay. Because I feel like this fight is just so brutal. And it's going to be brutal. I really do. Don't get me wrong. Joe Joyce isn't the same Joe Joyce that people were talking about, you know, could beat AJ and let's put Joe Joyce in with Deontay Wilder and Joe Joyce could give anyone a He's not that guy anymore. He's 38 and he's been for a lot as well. But, mate, will I watch it? Absolutely. I might go to the O2 Arena. But, yeah, it's a fight that I'm surprised was made. And it's a fight I'm surprised was pushed to the O2 as well. Don't get me wrong, you can black out the O2 in certain sections so you don't have to fill it. What is the O2? 15, 16,000. But, I mean, you should have just gone to the Copper Box. I mean, I was there for Johnny Fisher fight and they sold that place out and it was a great atmosphere. Sometimes when there's, and I'm guessing there will be around 4,000 or 5,000 in there. When there's 4,000 or 5,000 in the big arena, it just sounds like there's 10 people in there. I'm not even joking. It sounds awful. So, but we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. I do think Joe Joyce will win. I think Joe Joyce will stop Chisora late. I think it'll just be a case of it's just all too much. Do you know, like, especially if Joe has anything left. Like, if Joe can fight the way he did against Joseph Parker, then I think that's just too much for Chisora. He's too big. He can take your punches. Chisora's never been a one-hitter quitter, has he? He's never been that guy. I think the only time he's done that was maybe against Carlos Takam. He isn't that guy. He lands big shots, but he doesn't put people to sleep. So, yeah, I think this is going to be a long, long night for Chisora. I hope it isn't, but I think it's going to be a long, long night. There's been a lot of talk about Vasily Lomachenko recently. I saw something about his manager saying that, and I think a lot of people thought that we were going to get an announcement about Vasily and Tank. That obviously isn't going to happen because I think his manager said that he's lost motivation. He isn't that interested. He wants to go and see his family. And I think a lot of people are saying that's a duck. And look, it might be. I'm not going to, as much as I'm a big Loma fan, I'm not going to stick up for him and say it isn't, because if it was on the other side, I would say that's a bit of a duck. But what I will say is these guys, and Tank specifically, have been ducking Loma for years. For years. Now all of a sudden, Loma doesn't want the fight and people are saying Loma's a duck. I think we should maybe kind of point the finger at Leonard Ellaby, Floyd Mayweather and Tank himself and say, you've had the opportunity to fight him for years and you never wanted to do it. You never wanted to do it. So, look, that's not me trying to defend Loma, because it sounds like it's a duck on both sides, but it is on both sides and it has been for years. Loma very recently, but Tank for so many years didn't want that fight, or at least his team didn't want that fight. I do think Tank would fight anyone. His team didn't want that fight. But yeah, it doesn't look like we're going to get Loma Tank, so let's move on to the next best thing. And the next best thing is Shakur Tank. We'll see. Terence Crawford says Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds makes the most sense. Terence, don't do this. Don't do this. Just, I wouldn't even answer questions about Canelo. I think I'm interviewing Terence and I want to ask him questions about Canelo, but what I don't want is for your mind for even one split second move away from Madrimov. I think Madrimov's a problem. I really do. I think he's a big problem. And I think if Terence even thinks about the carrot that's been dangled in front of him, which is a Canelo fight, you almost lose focus of the problem that's in front of you. And trust me, Madrimov's a problem, people. A big problem. So I get it. You're going to be asked questions from journalists who may be sleeping on Madrimov. Terence should make sure that he's not sleeping on this guy, because this guy's a bit of a beast. He really is a bit of a beast. All right, anything else before we wrap? Look, there's loads of stuff. Guys, there's loads. We're going to have to play catch up here, but this is obviously the first video back. You know what happens when we do one video? We do 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we don't stop. But as I said, I do go to LA on Sunday. I might do a behind the scenes thing again. We'll see. You know what it is? I just almost would love, and I can't afford it, so no one send messages or emails, but I'd love to kind of pay someone just to come and just fucking do it without me even knowing. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, someone's just there in the background and they're filming you. You don't even know it's happening. And then all of a sudden it's edited and it's up. Because I need to be focusing on my work and I'm fucking editing the videos and making sure that I'm there, filming it sometimes myself. It's long.